Ooh, that was scary.
5 right cut, into 6 left, into 5 right, 120, 6 right, 50,
Oh, the rear end's very square there.
yes.
What's going on, guys? My name's Matilio and welcome back to Dirt Rally 2.0, where today we're going to be taking a little stroll down memory lane, because if you are a rally fan or if you're just a motorsports fan in general, you will know that Group B was, without a shadow of a doubt, the greatest era for rallying that we've ever seen and probably ever will see. Not just because of the cars, but also the drivers. You know, people like Michel Mouton, Ari Vatanen, Walter Rahl, and so on and so forth. There were so many great drivers, and it was just such a great category. However, it was never really sustainable, and obviously we know the reasons that it eventually was disbanded. A number of accidents, quite high profile, towards the back end of the 1986 season, pretty much put the final nail in the coffin of Group B. And like I said, these are the cars that you had on your wall when you were growing up. Okay, don't get me wrong, things like the Sierra cars with they look good, but when you look at just in comparison to these things and the insane power, the Audi compared to that has got just an extra. It's got like nearly over 200 brake horsepower more, 240 brake horsepower more, if my math is correct. It could possibly not be, but yeah, I mean, it was just the golden era of rallying, and like I said, the sad thing about it is Group B was always going to end at the end of 1986. What some of you may not know is the fact that Group B was going to be replaced for 1987 with Group S, which, for all intents and purposes, is very, very similar to what we have now in the WRC. Limited to 300 brake horsepower and so on and so forth. Certain amount of cars have to be produced to replicate what they've got now. That was what it was going to be. Audi would bring in the Quattro 002. Lancia were basically rejigging the S4 to turn it into I think it was the ECV, I think it was called. Ford were doing the same with the RS 200. Toyota were bringing an MR2 to it as well. I think Lada as well were bringing one, which... Lada, oh god, yeah. Funny story. I do have a little bit of experience with Lada, or my parents do. They were offered either a Lada or a Skoda by my granddad. Said, "I'll buy you a car. It's got to be a Lada or a Skoda." Now this was old Skoda, when the engines were in the back and they still looked very, very Soviet era. They still looked very, very crappy. And it was kind of like that South Park episode where you got the choice between a shit sandwich or a giant douche. They went for the giant douche, which was the Skoda. And it broke down weekly. So much so we were on first name basis with the mechanic, and he became a very good family friend because we saw him so often. So yeah, there we go. There's my little bit of thing. But yeah, like I said, it's disappointing because they basically just said, no, we're not doing Group S now. It's just going to be Group A, and we're going to have, cars like, I'll try to show you here. What became things like this? There was a Toyota Celica was in there, the very early models, and a Subaru. The Legacy was the one they started with originally, I think it was. We also had like the Delta. The Cosworth eventually came into there, and it wasn't until we got to 1997 that they brought in the what we know now, the World Rally Car specifications. So, yeah, very disappointing what happened to Group B, because especially for guys like Ford and MG, who never really got a chance to properly develop their car. They got it to the track and they had some small degrees of success, but but thanks to games like Dirt Rally 2.0, we can relive Group B and try and enjoy it as much as we possibly can in the virtual realm. And that's what I'm going to be doing today, because I'm going to be taking a Group B car, something I've never driven before in this game, and I'm going to be taking it to somewhere I've never driven before, which is Spain, on a tarmac stage. So while I'm very fond of the Audi, I'm fond of all of them, but I do actually, I'm going to post a picture now up on screen. I've got a picture of, this is a model I have. It is a Delta S4, and it's got that beautiful red martini livery. I absolutely love that thing. So I'm going to go with the S4 for this, because I'm also quite curious to find out how a car with both turbo and supercharging performs on a tarmac stage. Like I said, no basic fit comparison, never done a Group B car, never done a tarmac rally before. And I've heard some people complaining about the tarmac rallies in Dirt and Dirt 2.0, so I'm going to find out firsthand how bad they are and if they are bad at all, because some people do tend to exaggerate. We're going to go with that livery for the start, and yeah, so like I said, we're heading to Spain. We're going to be doing the Subida por Carretera, which is 2.85 miles, nearly 200 feet of elevation change. Start time is nearly 2:30 in the afternoon, and it's dry, of course, because I don't want to make things too difficult for myself, considering I'm still very much a beginner when it comes to rallying and rally games. So this is going to be an experience. Whether it's going to be a good one, I'm not sure. I'm going to try my best to get it to the end without binning it. But I make no promises. And if I can put up a decent time, then that'll be good as well. But I imagine that a fair amount of people have already popped times up, and we've got the full-blown release tomorrow, I believe. Shall we let's just take a look at the leaderboard, shall we? Let's just see what the top time is, just to give us some basis. Wow, 1:53, 9 seconds faster than the next guy. That's insane. That really is. The fastest PS4 time. When you see Dirt player, it's either an Xbox or a PC player. So the fastest PS4 time is a 2:03 in a 2:05 T16. So that seems to be the 2:05 or the Sport Quattro seems to be the one to go for. But like I said, I'm going to see what we can do. If we can place in, I don't know, maybe let's see the top 25. If we can place in the top 25, I think for a beginner, I think that could be fairly respectable, I think. So yeah, we're going to go with that. So I'm going to adjust the tyres. Because it's a short stage, it tends to put you on the mediums, but I'm going to go with the soft tyres, purely because it's a short stage and I want as much grip as I can possibly muster. So I'm going to get this all set up, and when we come back, we'll be ready to embrace the horror, I guess. Okay then, guys, so here we are. We're just about ready to get things kicked off. Like I said, bear with me, it is my first time on tarmac and in a Group B rally car, so I'm a virgin in both respects. And I don't know, I guess it's going to be like sex for the first time. It's going to be very, very exciting, but it's going to be nerve-wracking throughout, and you're not going to want to make a mistake. So yeah, keep those mental images in your mind right there. First time sex, Group B rally car, essentially the same thing. So yeah, let's get things started and get my cherry popped, shall we?
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 50. 5 left.
Holy crap!
Right. Keep left over 60. 4 right. Very long. Opens 30. 5 right over crest. 3 left long. Into 5 right. Into 3 left long. Tightens 2. Into 6 right. Extra long. Tightens 4 long. Into 6 left. Into 4 right. 50 over crest. 3 left tightens. Into 4 right. 100. 2 left. Extra long. Tightens. Into 4 right long. Into 2 left. Keep right over 20. 6 left. Into 5 right long. Tightens. Opens long. 80. 5 left. Extra long. Into 4 right. Into 2 left tightens. Into caution. 2 right tightens. 2 left. Keep left over 100. Over crest. 6 right long.
Ooh,
50.
that was scary.
5 right cut. Into 6 left. Into 5 right long. 120. 6 right. 50.
Oh, the rear end's very square there.
Into 6 right long. Opens 60. 4 left long. Big cut. Into 4 right long. Opens 30. 4 right narrow. Into 4 left. 5 right big cut. Into 4 left long. 50. 2 right long. 60. Caution dot cut. 2 left long. Into 2 right. Extra long. 30. Caution.
Oh, come on.
Long. Tightens 3. 30.
Ooh. Ooh. There we go. A 2:10.137. A little disappointed I couldn't get to the 09s. But yeah, we're obviously a long way off the guy. We're about 17 seconds off the guy who's top of the leaderboard. But I did this with no setup, and it's, you know, my first time driving it on this track. So I know that's pretty impressive, I guess. I don't know. It depends on what basic comparison you wanna go for. So yeah, 2:10.137. Like I said, I wasn't really going for lap time, but let's see where it puts me on the leaderboard. I said if I can make the top 25, I'll be happy. Where am I? I'm in top 20. There we go. First time, top 20. It's not the best S4 time on the board, but you know, I'm okay with that. Like I said, I'm going to get better. But yeah, the Group B car, it's mental. The power is instant everywhere, especially in this thing, because obviously most of the Group B cars are turbocharged, so you imagine there's going to be probably a little bit of turbo lag here and there. But with this thing, because it has a supercharger which doesn't suffer from turbo lag, it's just instant everywhere in every gear. It's incredible. It really is. Like I said, it is a little bit squirmy at the rear end, so I do have to work on setup and so on and so forth. But overall, absolutely loved that. It was so much fun. Scary as well. Scary as hell, but I absolutely loved it. From start to finish, it was brilliant. So, yeah, if you haven't tried the Group B cars, I highly suggest you do. If you are a beginner, just be ready for a true assault on your senses, because it's just absolute savagery from start to finish. It really is absolutely amazing. These cars are terrifying, but when you manage to string, you know, a few corners together and not bin it, then it just feels so good, and you get a real sense of accomplishment from it, because these things can bite you at any time. But there we go, guys. That's the end of today's video. So thank you everybody so much for watching. If you did enjoy this, you would like to see more Dirt Rally 2.0, more Group B stuff, and just general racing content from myself, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe. Also, let me know in the comments, guys. How are you getting on with the game? Are you enjoying it? Have you tried the Group B cars yet? Do you have any recommendations when it comes to the Group B cars? Always happy to hear from you. But once again, guys, thank you everybody so much for watching. Stay cool, and as always, I will catch you in the next video. Peace!